Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel Scent Magnifique, and today we're going to be reviewing Tom Ford's Café Rose. So, Café Rose, I am big on rose fragrances. I enjoy Tom Ford, he's my favorite designer brand. This release was previously part of their premium collection, and they've now reissued it in 2023, I think it was, in the kind of designer line, if you like. And they usually do that when they think it has more sort of commercial potential. And therefore, I was very curious about this one. I really love rose and patchouli combined. And I have a few fragrances that I'm going to talk about in comparison to it today. Um, but this one, what can I say? So let's have a sniff, first of all. Yeah, so it's called Cafe Rose. There's been a lot of talk about it online not having much coffee in it. And I have to say, I agree. I don't really care because I quite like the opening anyway. So it's got coffee in the top note. The coffee, I don't really perceive it as coffee, but I do perceive it as something different going on from the other rose patchouli fragrances I know, for example. So normally you've got like a citrus note in the top, and this one certainly doesn't have that. And there's something kind of not sweet about the opening. And it's obviously the coffee that's doing that, but I don't detect it myself as coffee. The other thing about this one that's interesting is that it was a unisex release when it was in the private line, and now they've kind of marketed it specifically towards women. However, I'm going to compare it to some other fragrances I've got here today, and it's actually one of the more masculine rose patchouli combinations that I've come across, and for that reason I really like it. Well, when I say masculine, I mean unisex. So yeah, the first thing that I compared it to in my mind was Le Labo's Rose 31, which I've got here. And Le Labo's Rose 31, let's have a sniff of that just as a comparison. Yeah, so it's much sweeter, funnily enough. It's muskier, it's sweeter, but they've both got rose and frankincense. Now, frankincense or olibanum is different from an incense note in perfumery. So the incense note is more sort of smoky, more church-like, whereas frankincense has this kind of I don't know, like sort of resinous balsamic quality to it, which is quite kind of astringent almost. And that's what makes these really unique, because I don't know a lot of fragrances that have that specific olibanum or frankincense note. This one has sandalwood and ylang ylang in the base as well. I'm not great at detecting ylang ylang. It's not a note I'm very familiar with, but so for me, this is kind of very rose patchouli dominant, supported by the frankincense, and then obviously something very interesting is happening in the opening with the coffee for me. And the overall effect is something that is not particularly sweet. It's rose, but not in as I say, it's quite a unisex rose. I think I've been enjoying wearing it. I'm wearing it today. Um, um, yeah, it's very distinctive. So it's more wearable, I'd say, than something like Portrait of a Lady, which we've spoken about quite a bit on this channel, which was, I mean, the first video that I ever did was on Portrait of a Lady. And it's obviously one of the most famous rose patchouli combos out there. It's probably darker than this one. However, they're both kind of quite masculine. In fact, I'd even say this one's more masculine. So I think of the rose patchouli, the only other one that I've got, which I can compare it to, is Contes du Levant from L'Artisan Parfumier. And this one is slightly different because it's got a very strong pepper note. It's got three pepper notes at the top. So it's got white pepper, pink pepper, and black pepper. And for that reason, this is probably a little bit more masculine. But of all the rose, so in terms of rose patchouli fragrances, this one would be the most, and then this one's kind of got close after that. Despite the fact that this one's specifically marketed at women. So I'm interested in this conversation about what men and women can and can't wear. I reviewed Chanel's number 5 before Christmas, and one of my takeaways from that was that I thought it was actually quite a unisex fragrance, precisely because of the vetiver in the base, which I felt gave it, as it dried down, made it more masculine. This one, rose is a kind of a note that is traditionally feminine maybe, but having said that, all of your kind of classic 80s fougères contained rose, so things like Chanel's Anatias or Givenchy Gentleman, the original eau de toilette, which I'm going to be reviewing in another upcoming video. So, I mean, rose has always existed in men's fragrances. And I'm at a point now where I'm really enjoying kind of rose being the sort of star of the show rather than an accompanying note, and particularly rose combined with patchouli, because it creates something that's quite powerful. I think it's like a sort of magic trick within perfumery when those two notes come together, because it creates something very, very potent and intoxicating, I guess. And as I say, this one is particularly interesting because of the coffee in the top and the sandalwood in the base and the frankincense in the mid notes as well. So, sorry, the frankincense and the sandalwood in the base. Yeah, it kind of tops and tails the rose patchouli heart notes, and for that reason, I'm really loving this one. So I'd love to get your thoughts. Do leave a comment if you've tried this, if you like this, if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a non-binary person, and what you think of it. Okay, thanks for watching.